doctorate in education. She studies improvisational communication. She presents improvisational communication, teaches teachers how to be more improvisational. We were on a panel just a couple of months ago talking about these very issues. And so I am so thrilled to have her here working with you guys today on improvisation and improvisational communication. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
She doesn't bite, I promise.
Just a little bit. It's a little. Okay, so yeah, that's my background. Before I went into education, I was an actor. So I got my MFA in acting and performance, and I still perform. I studied at Second City. When I'm not teaching, I travel with my improv company. So I'm coming at this from two very different angles. I have the improv acting, get up on the stage and be funny part of my life, but I also have the so what does that mean for real life part of my life. The first thing I want to do, though, is assure you that nothing terrifying is going to happen to you. You are not going to have to come up here and do a sketch or be funny at all. At all. There's a misconception about what improvisation actually is. What do you think of when you think of improv? What comes to mind immediately? SNL, right? What else? Did anybody see that? Oh, that's not here. Have you seen an improv show anywhere? Where do you see those? There's a Chicago, New York. Yeah, Second City is kind of what comes to mind. There's also Improv Olympic, Upright Citizens Brigade, Groundlings, right? All of these theaters that are about small companies of actors getting on stage and being hilarious. And usually they take their improv and turn them into sketches and they become shows like on SNL. That is not what improv was ever meant to be. That is not what improv was created for. It has evolved into that. But the way improv began was way back in the 30s with a woman named Viola Spolin. And she was working with children of immigrants. So there were new first generation and newly arrived children of immigrants in this country who needed help assimilating and getting used to American culture. So she had these groups. This was the first form of social work that happened in our country. And it was kids getting together with this woman, Viola, and playing games that she made up. She made up games to help these kids get comfortable and help them value what they were bringing. Because they were living in a society that was telling them, you don't have anything of value, you need to be more like us. She called them theater games because they tended to be kind of active and silly make-believe games. And they took those games to California, and she worked with child actors. My teacher's teacher, and Paul was one of the founding directors of Second City. So he took these fun games that he knew from working with actors and working with his mom to Chicago, and they started working as a theater company. And in the beginning, Second City did plays. They did like theater. They didn't just do silly stuff. But they found out that their warm-ups and their theater activity, their games, were really entertaining. They're very fun to watch. And then Second City became Second City. But it was never meant to be that. When you watch a show like Whose Line Is It Anyway? I love that show. But that's what improv evolved to be. But we're going back to the beginning. We're going back to the beginning where Viola was using activities to help people get comfortable, help people get grounded in their own bodies, right, with their own voices, help them learn how to listen to each other, how to be present. She was talking about being present and focused way before the #mindfulness movement. She was generations before. She's all about be here now. Be here now, right? She said focus is meditation in action. So think about that for a minute. Let's process those words. Focus is meditation in action. That was at her core philosophy of teaching improv, right? Taking focus and moving with it, not just sitting there and being focused. What does this do? It's nice, but eventually you gotta get up and do something, right? So that's what we're gonna do today. You feel a little bit better? You don't have to tell me jokes? You have to tell me jokes? Robin and I will handle all the jokes.
We'll do all the jokes.
We're hilarious. I don't know if you've noticed. Okay, so one thing that all improv companies do before they go on stage, and this is true across every company, from Canada, up in Toronto where they have Second City, all the way to here in St. Louis, By the way, there's a huge improv community in Thailand and the Philippines. Who knew? They love it there. They use improv to train their soap stars and their adult film stars. That's as far as we're gonna go with that topic.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there.
But it's out there, just saying. But all of these companies, regardless of the application, before they go out on stage, before they take on a project, they make a point of making visual and physical contact with every member of their company, and they say, I got your back. They go to every person in their circle, may I touch you? Sure. And they go, hey, I got your back. To everybody. Because that's gotta be there. If you go on stage and things go terribly awry, you fall off the stage, your pants fall down, I don't know what could happen. People throw beer bottles at you, all sorts of things can happen. You have to know that the other people in your cast, no matter what, have got your back. They'll make you look good. That's what improv is about, making your partners look amazing. Not about you. So what I want you to do right now, I'm gonna give you like 15 seconds to say I got your back to as many people as you can. Make visual eye contact, slap them on the back, let them know we're all in this together. If anything crazy happens, I got your back. Okay? Yeah, that's really good. Okay, go! 15 seconds, it's happening right now. I'm from Louisiana, so I'm having a real situation with the weather, but I'm going to work it out. I believe in myself. Okay, you feel okay? Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Here we go. So we're going to scaffold. You know this term, scaffold? We're going to start with very light, easy stuff so you don't freak out. And then we'll do stuff later that's super scary and you'll freak out. No, it's all going to be pretty easy. But you get to stay seated for this, which is nice. So here, yay! It snaps! Snaps on sitting. That doesn't change, no matter what age I teach. Even my middle schoolers are like, oh, I don't want to get, my feet hurt. I'm like, you're 12. You've got a whole new model there. Okay, so you're going to partner up. We have an odd number. So we're going to have one group of 3. But I want that to be minimal. I want as many partnerships as we can make happen. So I'm going to give you 3 seconds to find a partner. Go.
One team of 3 and the rest are partners.
2, 3. Raise your hand if you don't have a partner. We can have a group of 3.
One group of 3.
A partner.
What did I tell you about making jokes? No jokes.
I got you.
Thank you. I got your back. I got your back. Okay, so in your partnership, when I ring my bell, which I lost, I moved the seat in my car, but I totally found it.
Oh, you found it. Awesome.
I found it. It was jingling, and I was like, either Christmas is coming or my bell is in the seat. And I'm going to ring the bell. You're going to have 1 minute to have a conversation with your partner. You can talk about anything you want. Anything you want at all. Adult films in Thailand is a good place to start. But I will tell you this. There's one rule. I'm just kidding. Don't go there. We don't know enough about them. There's a rule. The rule is you have to speak in present tense. So those of you who are trying to remember English class, present tense means what's happening now. So for example, I wouldn't say, I was cold when I was walking into the building earlier, because that's in the past, right? I would say something about right now. This room is warm. I'm comfortable in here now. I wouldn't say, for Thanksgiving we had a really great time and all my family came over. I'd talk about now and say, I am excited but I still have leftovers in the fridge. Because that's true right now. Try to stay in the present as much as you can. You won't be perfect, but try. But you can talk about anything. You ready? 1 minute, present tense. Go. Okay. How'd it go? You're not going to hurt my feelings. I didn't invent this. My whole school did.
Speaking on the correct tense, which counts up.
Yeah. Would anybody concur? Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. How does it affect the way you speak? What happens? You have to think. Bummer. Yeah. You do. Yeah. So it's almost okay. So it's like you're in your head. Did you feel like you were previewing? Like before I say it, I gotta run through it. Okay, is that like trying to checking up on it?
Yeah.
You're sort of editing live, sort of proofreading yourself live. Did you notice when your partner made a mistake in present tense? No. If you did you correct them? You just let it go. How kind? Because you had their back, right? You had their back. That feeling of being in your head and previewing what you're going to say and trying to fix it so that it fits within the rules that you were given. Improv actors, we call that being in your head. You're in your head. You're not really with the person you're talking to. You're not really in the moment. You're not really present. You're in your head trying to script out what it is you want to say. And that's very limiting. Right? It kind of feels like you're stopping and starting because you're like trying to articulate, but suddenly you have rules around articulating and it changes the way you operate. Being in your head for an improviser is death on stage. We cannot be in our heads. If we're in our heads thinking about what we're going to say and how funny it's going to be, we're not with our partner and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I want you to record that feeling of being kind of stuck and having to edit your words in the moment and script out your articulations. I want you to record that feeling because we're going to add something to it, okay? You're going to go back into conversation. Try to stay in present tense if you can. It's not a huge deal, but try. Try to stay in present tense. You can pick up where you left off or you can start a new topic. If you reach a dead end and you're like, I have nothing else to say about this thing, pick something else, it's okay. But there's a new rule. In addition to staying in present tense, now, no matter what your partner says, you should disagree with them. All right? Some of your eyes lit up. That's worrisome. But that's okay. When you disagree with them, don't just say, no, you're wrong. Tell them why they're wrong. Give them a reason. If they say, it's warm in here, I like it, your answer should be, no, you don't like it. I know you don't like it because I have your diary right here where you have written, warm air is terrible. You can lie. You can make stuff up. If they say, I really like this class, no, you don't like this class, you hate this class. I heard you talking about it yesterday.
They love this class.
They love this class. Deny everything they say and tell them why they're wrong. Tell them what's up. You ready?
Yes.
1 minute. Yes! That's awesome. There's one of those in every class.
Always.
Ornery, contradictory person. Let's see if my bell will be, more manly this time. 1 minute. Go. That's good. How was that?
Fun.
I liked it. It's just a flinch that lives inside of me. It was like being married. Some marriages are fun. I will tell you what I saw from up here. You were way louder this time. Way louder and way more animated, more energetic. There's more energy in the room. The first time I told you all speak in present tense, you were like, okay, well, should I talk in present tense? I don't know, I have a shirt. Right? You just kind of did it because I'm the authority figure, I'm the stranger in the room you're supposed to listen to today, and you did it. But the second time I said disagree, everybody kind of sat up a little taller, and there's a lot of this kind of stuff, and a lot of this, right? Your voices got louder. There was laughter bubbling up all over the room. Lots of physicality. Why do you think that is?
We were lying.
You were being creative, right? You were engaging that part of your brain that creates, and that's going to change your energy.
Well, there's theatricality to lying. To
Absolutely.
selling a lie.
Acting is lying, right? What else? Yeah.
There was like a defined objective this time.
Yes.
So when there's when there's a new rule, there's like a new path to stick to. It made
Yeah.
it much easier to just like
It
refute
does.
and then create something new.
It does. Before I was like, talk.
Yeah.
And you were kind of lost. Present tense, but anything I want. You knew no matter what that person said, if you were stuck, you could go, nuh-uh, because reasons, and you could just say a lie, right? That's a very good point. You had a clear script almost to follow. What else? Did anybody, well, I know this is true. Some of you said it was fun. Why? Why is it fun? Bunch of liars. Disagreeable liars. Isn't it fun to disagree? Sometimes. If you're saying no, you're also a liar. Because it is a little fun, right? Especially when it's playful like this, right? And the stakes are low. We're not talking politics, right? We're not talking about major issues. We're talking about little silly things. And it's fun to go, no, it's not true, because, and you just say something like a toddler would, right? It can be fun to tell somebody they're wrong. It's not terribly productive, but it can be fun. Did anybody find it not fun at all? Any of those folks in the room? There's usually a couple that are like, I do not like this. Yes. What don't you like about it?
It just feels weird.
It's uncomfortable, especially if you have an agreeable nature. Like if you're a kind person who likes to affirm other people's ideas, you know? And then to be told, no, you can't agree with anything they say, even if it's true. That stifles your personality a little bit, and it feels like you're wearing shoes that are too tight. You're like, but it's a nice idea. No, it's a dumb idea. Tell them how terrible that idea is. That can be difficult for some people to adapt to. Improvisers don't like this at all. In fact, we don't do this at all. This is called saying no, or denying, or negating, and we never, ever do it. But I wanted you to feel what it's like, because you have to feel this side of it for the other side to make sense. Okay, so we're going to do this one more time. We're going to change the rules. Conversation about anything you want, anything at all. You can pick up where you left off, or you can start something new. I have to say in present tense. That's always our foundation. But this time, I want you to agree with everything your partner says. And just like when you were negating, don't just say, yeah, you're right. Tell them why they're right. Even if you don't agree with them. Pretend that you do and tell them why they are correct. So if they say Chick-fil-A is the best fast food that ever happened, you say, yes, it is, and I can tell that you love it because you still have French fries on your shirt. Right? Tell them why they are correct. All right, you ready? 1 minute. Agree. Agree and tell them why. Go. Was that better, worse, the same as denying?
There was more conversation.
There was more conversation. What do you mean by that qualifier, more?
It was easier to speak, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Do you
It was hard
need,
to come up with something to say back, to respond to them.
so do you feel like the conversation developed more?
It went deeper.
It went deeper. Yeah, well, that's interesting. Okay, what else? Yeah.
I thought it was a little easier to like change the subject
Uh-huh.
when you were agreeing, just because like you could just barely touch on what they said,
Mm-hmm.
and then the new reason that you give for like why they enjoyed something or why they didn't like something, it could just go way off.
Yeah, we call that a ramp to something new.
Yeah.
And you can't do it with denying, because denying ends up like this, right? But you can say, yeah, and what about this, and what about this, and it goes, and that's what happens with your conversation, right? It sort of snowballs into something. That your conversations end up in a very different place than where they started.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? They definitely take some crazy twists and turns. Anything else? How did it feel to be agreed with, no matter what you said? Did it make you feel warm and fuzzy? Thumbs up.
Wonderful.
It feels great.
Right.
I love people agreeing with me. Every Everybody loves people. Nobody's like, it feels amazing. When you say something, you're like, cookies are great. Cookies are great. I'm like, yeah, my opinion on cookies is a good, smart person thing to say. It just makes you feel good. Affirmation feels good. What was different about the way you had to listen, comparing the saying no to the saying yes? What changed about the way you listened?
When you deny, you don't really have to listen because you know you're going
Yes,
to
you
deny it
get
anyway.
all the points for the evening. Give him all the points. Yes, when you're going to say no to something, it doesn't really matter if you hear it or not. You can completely tune them out and just go, no, that's not true because the sky is above us and I feel these things, right? This is my reality, right? But when you agree, you have to listen because what you're doing is adding to it. You're saying, yeah, cookies are great and my grandma makes the best cookies. Your grandma does make the best cookies. And I had them last Christmas. It was amazing. You did come to my house last Christmas and remember when the tree caught on fire? Now things are taking off and you have to listen to make that happen. What you just did is what improv actors call yes and. Have you heard that before?
Yes.
It's kind of in the zeitgeist now. Yes and is everywhere. Every book, Tina Fey's book is called Yes and. Second City has a book called Yes and. Amy Poehler wrote a book called Yes Please. Like it's just out of hand, right? Viola Spolin, that's hers. It is about affirming what you've been given and adding something to it. You say yes, even when you're stuck and you don't know what else to say, you just go yes, and you add something to it. It is the most important principle of improv. Saying yes and. We don't say no. We say yes and. And here's why. On stage, my partner is Ed Reggie. We perform together. If Ed were to walk out on stage and say to me, oh my gosh, Gianna, your pants are on fire. And I say to him, no, they're not. What happens to our scene? It's over. I made him look dumb, right? And our scene is over. That's it. I said no. He came out with this great gift, right? A scene about my pants being on fire. That can go anywhere. And I killed it. I killed it because I wanted to be smart. But if he walks out and goes, Danny, your pants are on fire, and I go, yes, they are. And I have on asbestos underwear. So I'm going to be fine. That he can see, yes, you do have asbestos underwear. I gave you that last Hanukkah. I'm so glad that you got some use out of them. I can go, yes, I did get them from you last Hanukkah. Remember, I converted that year. And now we're both Jewish. We are both Jewish. Like, now we're going to visit, temple on a holiday. And who knows, we're baking challah. It doesn't matter. We started with pants on fire, right? I say yes and add. He says yes and add. Boom, 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 boom. You have something hilarious, right? That's how shows like Second City and SNL build their material. They sit around the room and somebody goes, well, what if this happened? And somebody else goes, yeah! And it creates something insanely funny and off the wall and very, very human because it's just us responding to one another. Remember that feeling of saying yes and agreeing and adding. We use improv in applications that are far away from theater. I use improv to train doctors. I use improv to train business people. We use improv. Anne-Marie Moore is now using it to train people with memory care, people who have autism, people who are dealing with Alzheimer's. It's absolutely amazing applications. And it all starts with yes and. It doesn't mean go out in your life and say yes to everything and every person. That would be chaos.
Plus man.
Yeah, right? Chaos. They stole that from my old school. It means look for the opportunities when you can say yes. Because we live in a say no kind of place all the time. We're always on the defense. Say no, this. Here's why this won't work. Here's why that won't work. Here's why you can't do this. Look for the opportunities to say yes. They can be really powerful. And I want to bring up this other thing about being present. Why I kept making you speak in present tense. Because I know that's a little frustrating, right? Being in your head that way. Here's why. When improvisers are creating a scene, they live in the right now because that's where the spark is. That's where the energy and the magic are. If you really think about it, anxiety, fear, worry, all the negative stuff, right? That cannot exist in the right now. There's no space for it. Fear, anxiety, and worry either live in the past or the future. They cannot live in the right now. We're always anxious, worried, fearful about something that already happened, right? And we're processing how we feel about that. Or we're anxious, worried, fearful about something that might happen in a minute or could happen next week. But if you really check in with yourself right now, you're probably okay. And as soon as anxiety comes in, it's because you're thinking about something that might happen. Anxiety doesn't live here, right? So that's why we're so comfortable and we go on stage and make fools of ourselves and we're fine. We're okay with it. Because we know that if we stay in the present, we have each other's back, only good can happen. Only good can happen. And I want you to keep that in mind as we move on to the next thing.